How's it going, guys? So today it is May 6th, 2024. This will be the first video of May, so let's get right into it. But here's our market context. Everyone knows we've been in this big uptrend on the Qs, consolidated for a bit. We broke down at a bit of a pullback, but since this bottom here at around 415-ish, we've been moving back up. And came down a bit before the FOMC meeting, but those 3 sessions since the FOMC meeting, we've just been rocketing the upside, huge gaps up here. Same can be said about SPY, major uptrend, pull back, and then after the FOMC meeting, we've just been gap up, gap up, gap up. Moved from 500 to 516 in just 3 sessions, which is pretty crazy. We can see here this was the FOMC meeting day on the Qs, after Powell talked, then after he left the stage. But since then, uptrended, gapped up, held the same spot, and then today came down a little and then moved upside all day. Same with the SPY, FOMC meeting day, held the bottom, gapped above the top, held above it, and around the same range, and then today gapped above the highs of the previous session on Friday last week and moved even higher. So the playbook trade today is in NVDA. This is a 15-minute chart, no after hours data. We know that it bottomed out a couple weeks ago at 764 after the semiconductors sold off majorly, and then we've worked our way back up, consolidated a bit, came down on this FOMC day, but since then, just like the rest of the market, we've been moving back to the upside, breaking back above this couple days of consolidation on Friday's session here, and then we gapped up this morning. And in the pre-market, we were approaching that $900 level, which is what grabbed my attention. So now if we come here to NVIDIA, this is with our pre and post market data. This is Friday's session. Intraday high like 892-ish. Gapped up this morning. 894 was our pre-market high. I have it marked there with that red line. And then coming into the actually open market, we pulled down a bit, got bought up into the open session, and then this first few candles just hasn't decided which direction. But by the 4th minute, by 6:33 I guess it was, we get this big bodied green candle bought up through that pre-market high. And so now the next resistance level is the 900 level. The even $100 levels with NVIDIA have been huge levels since its major up move that started at the beginning of last year. So we come right up against 900. We actually broke above that 900 level, but was quickly sold below it. But we held this in 898 or this range, this $2 range below the $900 level. Broke through it again in the next minute, sold back below it again. But we were putting in a couple indecision candles here. I'm showing that the buyers and sellers are kind of going at it. There's no clear winner. It's getting pushed below 900, but it's being kept above 898. Being held at this level gave me confidence to get long prior to the breakout. So I actually got in, I think it was 899.20-ish, so around here-ish. And although that's not a confirmation of the breakout, it's a little bit more speculative. I felt like since we were showing a lot of buying above this 898 level, that a stop under here below, a little bit below 898, 897.50s-ish, would give me a good enough risk reward if we did get that breakout. So that next minute, with a bit increased volume from the previous candle, we break through that level, and then we were pretty much off to the races. We never touched $900 again. A couple big candles here, pulled back a bit, and then we get these pretty decent wicks on the bottom of these candles, showing buying pressure still in the name, despite pulling off of the high at that time. And then it was just a matter of time, really, based on this buying, before we were going to see another push up. So you can see the volume drops on these ones because not as many people are selling, and then we get the push up almost twice as much volume on this big bodied green candle. I'm showing a huge volume of buying coming and overwhelming the sellers. And then we were just on an upward trajectory for the rest of the day. Another thing that gave me more confidence in this upward breakout move in NVIDIA, this is a 2-minute chart we see here, but I added here at the bottom, we have this offensive defensive line. This basically measures which sectors, the offensive versus the defensive sectors, are moving up more relative to each other. So we have, it's basically XLK, which is technology, XLC, telecom, XLY, which is consumer discretionary, and those three normalized versus utilities, XLV, which is healthcare, and XLP, which is consumer staples. So it's the more risk-on sectors versus the more conservative defensive sectors of filled with companies that need to exist regardless, for like staples and things everyone buys, versus the tech names, which is more stuff that people would be purchasing if they have extra money. So anything above 0 means it's more risk on. It's the tech, the telecom, the consumer discretionary are dominating more. Anything below 0 means that the defensive names are dominating more. So coming right up against this 900 level, you can see down here that we were already showing off the open, even in the first few minutes, a pretty sharp uptick into the more offensive names. So this gave me confidence, or more confidence, in buying that breakout. And then you can see we did have a little pullback here. This was during that those couple minutes where NVIDIA was still deciding if it wanted to go upward. And then after we caught more buying at that 902.50 level, you can see we moved up. The first pullback in NVIDIA coincided fully with this pullback in the inflow into the offensive names. But after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing to the upside. And by the time we peak out here on the offense-defense line, that's within $3 of the high of day of NVIDIA. We ended up making most of the up move in NVIDIA in the first hour and a half, 2 hours. And it consolidated mostly the rest of the day. High of 922, sold below it, but then was bought right back close to it into the end of the day. So closed within $1 of the high a day. You can see that the rest of the market kind of remained generally more offensive, but not an uptrending offensive move, at least in the sectors. So this was the trade. I really like the major level breakouts, especially on a name like NVIDIA that's super in play, despite maybe not having any specific news for this day. In fact, the volume was overall, relative to the average, quite low. The average volume for NVIDIA is around 53 million shares, at least according to FinViz that I have in front of me on my other screen here. Today it only did around 37 million, so we weren't even at 1 for relative volume. Despite the lower volume over the course of the full day for NVIDIA, the seemingly risk-on appetite of the market as a whole, as evidenced by this OD line here, and the draw that a level like the even 900 level will bring into a stock like this, that gave me confidence to buy this breakout. You could use, as a stop, you could use this 50 period simple moving average. That would have gotten you out here around 916. That'd be a $16 winner. I'd take that any day of the week. But yeah, that's kind of the trade today. I was happy to be part of it. I did not capture the whole move or even close to this whole first move. because once again I need to work on my trade management and where to put my stop. But that's what the whole point of doing this is. So I hope this was helpful. I hope someone else caught this move in the stock, and I hope everyone traded well today. And let me know in the comments if you had other thoughts relative to this move, if you looked at it a different way or anything like that. But that's going to be it for now. Remember to trade your playbook and playbook your trades.